Indeed, it is a great honor to be here with all of you today. We look forward to a day filled with reflection, collaboration, and strengthened solidarity among the Naga people. We are glad to see so many of you here, ready to share in the spirit of togetherness. Allow me a moment to elaborate on why the event is centered around the theme of the Naga Morung. The Naga Morung, historically a cornerstone of Naga society, served as a vital institution where young Nagas learned the customs, traditions, and history of their people. However, modern times have seen a decline in this tradition, resulting in generational gaps in understanding among the younger generation about their historical and political heritage. To bridge this divide, we propose the Naga Morung with the theme 2ⁿᵈ, which means victory to the people and land. This event aims to instill dignity in young Nagas by educating them about the Naga history. The event is designed with several primary objectives. First, to educate young Nagas about the Naga national movement, providing them with a comprehensive understanding of their history and political standing. Two, to foster a sense of pride, unity, and purpose among the youth, emphasizing the importance of their collective identity. Three, to offer a detailed narrative of the Naga people's stance for self-determination, highlighting significant milestones and key figures. 4. To inspire the younger generation to actively engage in preserving and promoting Naga identity and heritage. The 2ⁿᵈ theme symbolizes victory, resilience, and the collective aspirations of the Naga people for self-determination and a unified identity. Through this theme, the event aims to highlight the enduring spirit of the Naga struggle and envision a prosperous future for the community. The event will feature eminent historians and scholars who will provide insights into the Naga political journey, significant milestones, and key figures in the Naga struggle. Panels will address contemporary issues faced by young Nagas, their role in the community, and their contributions to the future of the Naga people. Narratives of historical events and personal stories will be shared to instill a sense of pride and identity among participants. The Naga Morung is more than a gathering. It is a call to action for the younger generation to remember, reflect, and rise. This initiative aims to foster a renewed sense of identity and purpose, empowering the youth to take pride in their heritage and actively contribute to the ongoing quest for recognition and self-determination. By re-strengthening the connection with their roots and understanding the significance of their historical stance, young Nagas will be better equipped to carry forward the legacy of their ancestors and work towards a united and prosperous future for the Naga people. 2ⁿᵈ.
Morung, Indo Somipam Dungleng, senior NSF leader. He was the former president of TKS 1984 to 1988. He was also the former president of ANSAM, All Naga Students Association Manipur, and he was also the former tribunal member of NSF 1995. Sir, you may take the chair. Thank you.
Let us all thank God for bringing us all our Naga sisters and brothers from across the Naga homeland to this Liwa Sarei, a Monchang village in Chandel district. I would like to request all that we will strictly follow the time management. Before we start the meeting, I would like to introduce just 3 personalities who are among us. First of all, I would like to introduce Mr. Vicky Hosu. He is the former president of the Naga Student Federation in 1993. Can you please stand up where he is seated? He will be speaking the keynote to us. Mr. Dingolo Krome, the Secretary General of the Naga People's Movement for Human Rights. And Madam Rosemary. He just retired this year. She was teaching in Nagaland University. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege for me to preside this meeting. But I think you have not come here to listen to me, but to the dignitaries I just introduced. So I think without much further ado, I would like to request the President of the Naga Student Federation to kindly do the honor of hoisting the flag. Just to remind you, we'll have sort of a 3 session this morning. First is the invocation, the welcome address, the presidential address, the keynote, there's a directive message from the invitees. Where Mr. Dr. Dingolo Krome will speak on Nagas yesterday, the Odesi, and Nagas today at the crossroad. We will take around 45 minutes, I presume, and we will take some questionnaire from among the delegates or questionnaire. We may not have time to go for an open discussion. The second session will be addressed by Professor Rosemary Zuvico, a senior social activist. She will dwell on the Nagas tomorrow, the vision. So I would like to request the congregation here to kindly stay till the end of this 2 sessions, and after which we will take a pledge of this 2nd edition of the Naga Morung, organized by the Naga Student Federation and hosted by the Naga Students Union Chandel and the Constituent Unit of Naga Students Chandel, I believe. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will now hand over the entire program to the two compeers, Isaac Charanamai and Margaret Maram. So it's all theirs now. Thank you very much.
Good morning, gentlemen and ladies, my dear students, brothers and sisters. A very warm greetings to each and every one of you. Welcome to every individual who have gathered with a vision to build our nation as one people for one destiny at Liwa Sarei village ground Chandel for the 2nd Naga Morung under the theme 2ⁿᵈ. My name is Isaac Charanamai, and today's my co-compare, I would say, Ellie K. Margaret Maram will be the compare for today's program. On behalf of the NSF, Naga Students Union Chandel and its constituent unit, organizing committee, we extend our deepest appreciation for your presence today. Now, without further ado, Ellie Margaret Maram will read out or highlight today's program schedule.
Thank you, my co-compare. We extend a heartfelt welcome to all our distinguished guests leaders and friends, allow me to introduce the order of the program. In the first place, invocation from Reverend Father Aloysius Siba, Parish Priest, St. Paul's Parish, Pallel, which will be followed by welcome address, Ino Runglar Eli Anal, President, Naga Student Union Chandel, after which we will hear the presidential address from Ino Medovi Ri, President, Naga Students Federation, and then we shall hear the Kuknalim, theme from Eli Ravane Dumai, which will be followed by keynote address from Ino Y. VK Su, former President, Naga Students Federation. After the keynote address, we will hear solidarity message from Ino Varayo Satsang, General Secretary, United Naga Council. Second, Ino Chingmak Chang from President, Eastern Naga Students Federation. And also from Ino Atimui Makuri, President, Eastern Naga Students Association. After which we will have the first session. And the topic for the first session is Nagas Yesterday, the Odyssey, Nagas Today, the Crossroad, and the speaker will be Dr. Ningulo Krome, Secretary General, Naga People's Movement for Human Rights. After which we will see the cultural dance from Chote Atural Ngai Abong Kana. Moving on to the second session, on the topic Nagas Tomorrow, the Vision, and the speaker for the second session is Professor Rosemary Zvitsu, Senior Social Activist. After this second session, we will hear closing remarks from rapporteurs. The rapporteurs for today's event is Ino Sapunu NG Philo, second, Ino Mariko Olerina, and third, Eli Ngakuimi Saiza. After the rapporteurs, we will hear the words of gratitude from Ino Kanilo Kent, Assistant General Secretary, Naga Students Federation, and benediction from Reverend G. Khatu, Pastor, Liwa Sarei Baptist Church. To begin this program with blessings, we invite Reverend Father Aloysius Seiba, Parish Priest of St. Paul, Parish Pallel, to lead us in the invocation. Let us open our hearts as he offers his prayers for the success and unity of our gathering. Father, please.
As we begin our August gathering today, let us first of all seek the blessings of God, and then we go ahead with our program. Kindly stand, let us listen to the word of God. May I request the congregation to kindly stand for the word of God. Second Chronicles chapter 7 verse 14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin and will heal their land. The word of the Lord. Let us pray, calling on the name of our Trinitarian God. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. God, our Heavenly Father, we bring before you our Naga people as we gathered here today with the team, Good Merlin. Lord, we pray for victory. We pray for the long life of the Nagas. We lift up the Naga people before you asking for a mighty awakening in our hearts and minds. Break every chain of narrow-mindedness, divisive force, and strife, and replace them with wisdom, love, and unity. Lord, you have called your people to rise and shine, not to remain in darkness. Let our Naga people break free from anything that hinders our growth, whether it be tribalism, bitterness, or past wounds. Fill our hearts with forgiveness and reconciliation, that we may stand together as one body under Christ. Lord, let your Spirit work among all our Naga tribes, a deep hunger for your truth, justice, and righteousness. Let the fear of the Lord guide our leaders, elders, and our youths, so that we may walk in your wisdom and integrity. May Nagas rise in strength, faith, and unity, seeking first your kingdom and righteousness, so that your blessing may overflow in our land. We make this prayer through Christ our Lord. The Lord be with you. May Almighty God bless you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Good night.
Thank you, Father Aloysius Silva. Now we have a welcome address from Inorungler Eli Anal, President, Naga Students Union Chandel. You may please come and take your time. Thank you.
Good morning, Chandel. Warm greetings from the office of the Naga Students Union Chandel. I, Rungler Eliana, President, Naga Students Union Chandel, on behalf of the Constituent Unit of NSUC and local organizing committee, welcome you all on this historic event, the 2nd Naga Morung, organized by Naga Students Federation, hosted by Naga Students Union Chandel at Liwa Sarei village on 28 March 2025. Let's all praise and thank God for bringing us and allowing us to make a history day here in Chandel. I give my respect to NSUC, President NSF, and his teams for giving us this privilege to host the 2nd Naga Morung. I give my respect to our today's resource person, Dr. Nyang Gulu Romi, General Secretary, MP MHR, Professor Rosemary Yuwichu, Senior Social Activist. I give my utmost respect and honor to our ma'am, SS Olis Lamkang, MLA 41 Chandel STAC, for her tremendous support through financially, mentally, and moral support. The Office of the Naga Students Union Chandel salutes you, ma'am, for your generosity, love, and concern towards our students' community. My respect to the Anthem, President, and colleagues. My respect to all the political figures of the Nagas, all frontier organizations, leaders, tribe hosts, reverend pastors, chiefs, village authorities, schools and colleges,
principals, intellectuals, well-wishers, and to the students and today's participants. Indeed, today is a history day, especially for our Chandel district. It is a blessing day of our younger generation. We acknowledge the spirit of oneness feelings. Taking this privilege, I want to acknowledge that our Chandel district is inhabited by our majority of Nagas, that is, namely Analt, Maring, Lamkang, Moyont, Mongsang, Chote, Taraut, Aimold, Khoibu, Kong, and we also gave a settlement to few temples, which is also a part of Chandel Naga People's Organization, CNPO. Yes, we might be aware that our Nagas of Chandel district is geographically isolated with the artificial boundaries and well-developed district among the districts of our Nagas. Yet, it is one of the most important districts in our Nagas district. Our Chandel Nagas district is a land where we can see our Naga future in prosperity. Our Chandel district is a land of static point of our Nagas, a land of rich culture, customs, traditions, and heritage, a land of treasures, a land where many of our Naga heroes and martyrs are born, a land where our forefathers have sacrificed in safeguarding our Nagas' lands and rights. At this present juncture, we, the Nagas of Chandel district, are facing a lot of challenges in every field and corner. Yet we fought a good fight till today in protecting and safeguarding our ancestral land, just like our forefathers has done for us. We all are aware, free movement regime, FMR, we the Nagas of Chandel strongly condemn the FMR. We stand with Naga Without Borders. We stand with our Naga cause. Lastly, today is a privilege to call our own a story that will be told for 1,000 years. Let our final stand be recorded to the histories, and let it be shown that we choose to die on our feet rather than to live on our knees. We are the Nagas as one. Let's all stand strong, stand brave, stand united, and believe in what we believe for our Naga sovereignty. Let's all join our hands together to save our younger generation. Good Nalim.
Thank you, President Sunin Chandel. As he remains standing, I would request all the Naga Students Federation units, subordinate units, president to be on the stage, please. Requesting all the federating unit and subordinate unit president to be on the stage, please. Thank you. We have all the president. We all give a round of applause for them, please. Thank you. the President of Ghana, Jyoti. Would also request our President, 2ⁿᵈ NSF, to be on the stage. And we'd also request Hosu, former President NSF, and also who would be the keynote address for today's program. We also call Dr. Ninglo Krome, Secretary General, Naga People Movement for Human Rights, to be on the stage. And Professor Rosemary Zubichu, Senior Social Activist, to be on the stage. And she will be the speaker for today's second session. Thank you. It's a token of love and appreciation from Naga Students Union Chandel and the host. Thank you.
Thank you to the guests of honor, speakers, presidents, and federating units for your valuable contributions, and also Naga Students Union Chandel for the presentation. Next, we will hear from 2ⁿᵈ, President of the Naga Student Federation, the largest representative body for students of the Naga people, who will deliver the presidential address. His leadership and dedication have been an inspiration to many. Let's welcome him warmly as he shares his address with us.
A very good morning to one and all. At the first place, I give glory and honor to Almighty God for giving us this blessed day. Today, I, on behalf of the Naga Student Federations, on behalf of my colleagues, on behalf of my seniors, welcome each and everyone to this second phase of the Naga Morung with the team Kutnaling here at Chandel. Thank you, Chairperson, our compeers. Speakers of today's, Vicky Hosu, former President Naga Student Federation, ex-Minister Government of Nagaland, Dr. Ninglo Krome, Secretary General, MPMHR, Professor Rosemary. We are also privileged to have our Meme Angela, President NMA, Naga Mother Association. I'm also privileged to have our brother, our friends, Ching, President Naga Student Federation, our Reverend leaders across Naga homeland, our program participants. In order to save the time, I'm not able to address each and every one of you, but you have my highest respect. Today, I want to remind our gathering here, our history is not just a series of events. It is a saga of resilience, courage, and the unyielding pursuit of sovereignty. Today mark more than 96 years of our express to remain free from all forces that was miserably failing in trying to subjugate us as the Naga people. 10 January 1929, the Naga Club, on behalf of the Naga people, wrote to the Simon Commission stating, if the British government to leave India, then leave the Naga people free. On 14 August 1947, the Naga people, under the able leadership of Naga National Council, declared their independence from all imperialistic force. The Naga nation became independent one day ahead of even the mighty India. Befittingly, the then leader of the Naga national movement resisted the force of trying to integrate the Naga homeland within the Indian Union. Their vicious attempt to dampen our collective spirit by arbitrarily bifurcating the Naga homeland into India and Burma is what we inherit today. The Naga people, we never consented to the signing the instrument of accessions, which it has happened. The Naga people become a part of the Indian Union or Burma neither by conquest nor by consent. This is the unique history of the Naga people, and this unique history remains the guiding force behind our assertion for self-determination. The presence of the Naga people gathered today, this morning, show the symbolic strength, our convictions, as well as our aspirations. Even concerned about the presence and what may lie ahead for our people. This gathering itself is a symbolic expression. It is a call to action, a reminder to honor our past, cherish the present, and build a brighter future. The Naga Morung, historically a cornerstone for Naga society, a vital institution where our young boys and girls learn the costume, traditions, and history of our people. However, with modern time, we have declined in the tradition, resulting in generational gap in understanding among the younger generations about our historical and political heritage. It is for these very reasons that Naga Morung, with the concept, with the theme, Kutnalim, which means victory to our people, is being corrupted and organized by the Naga Student Federation to instill dignity in our young Nagas by educating about our history, our identity, and our culture. Today, I want to take us a moment to reflect on the priceless heritage handed down to us by our forefather. Our Naga people have long been praised for its value of honesty, integrity, and mutual respect. However, as we reflect today, we must ask ourselves, how far are we living up to the expectations? Are we truly upholding the principles that define us? This is a moment for self-evaluations, a time to realign ourselves with the value of our forefather, which have cherished. As we navigate this modern world, it is essential to distinguish between our faith, our religion, and our custom. Our religion connects us to a higher power, faith sustain us in hope and belief, and costume bind us to our rich cultural heritage. Each has its significance and should be upheld without conflicts or compromise. While religions and faith are personal, costume unite us. It preserves our identity and our culture. Instead, let us commit to representing both, ensuring that neither overshadow the other. In pursuit of modernity, the stability we see, we find ourselves increasingly influenced by the foreign culture. While change is inevitable, it must not come at the cost of our identity, our rich tradition. Language and heritage define who we are as a people. Today, many of our dialects are fading, and with them a part of our history. To preserve our unity and identity, we must work towards or develop a common Naga language, one that binds us together while honoring our dignity. To my dear students, friends, to my dear leaders, we are the stewards of our heritage. The culture of our history, our culture, our identity rests in our hand. Let us take pride in our root, strive to keep our tradition, history alive, and ensure that they remain vibrant and meaningfully in the years to come. The responsibility requires dedications, but it also offers the immense rewards of preserving our own identity and honoring the effort those who have come before us. The 2ⁿᵈ theme symbolizes victory, resilience, and collective aspirations of the Naga people. For our self-determinations and identity. Through this theme, they even aim to highlight the enduring spirits of the Naga struggles and envision a prosperous future for the Naga community. Today, as we commemorate these auspicious occasions, on behalf of the Naga Student Federations, I want to convey the message to our political troops. I want to assure our Naga people that Naga Students Federation shall continue to strive for the unified lane that will not rest until our desired goal for determination of our own future is achieved. It should remain that the ultimate goal for every Naga individual that our identity, our unique history, and the resulting right is respected and honored by every single force merit. May not mistake that the Naga Student Federations will never accept a piecemeal solutions to any protracted Indo-Naga political issue. What solution that is come should be mutually agreed upon the negotiating table between the Naga leader and the government of India. NSF in no way will accept any solution that will enforce upon our people. We will remain dedicated to inclusive, honorable, and acceptable solutions to all these long-pending political issues that say total sovereignty shall continue to be our ultimate goal. May God bless us all. May God bless our Naga people for unified limbs and glories of Nagas. 2ⁿᵈ.
Thank you, Ino Medoviri, for your inspiring presidential address. Your words are both a reflection of our shared values and a call to action for us to move forward together with determination and unity while preserving our unique identity and honoring our dignity. Moving on, let us come together in unity and song as we listen to Kuknalim. The performance will be presented by Eli Raivane Dumai. Please join me in welcoming her to the stage.
Fair mountains and valleys, rich with scarce resources, green fields full and fruitful, give to us to master our heritage, our rich. Let this forever be ours. Sing our song together. Nagas, come, raise your voices. Sing our song together towards our rightful place. Through healing of our spirit. Kukalim, yes, Kukalim. As with rich traditions, strong and true, hold fast to our rights and freedom. Nagalim, get us under our heritage, our reach. Let this forever be ours. Sing our song together. Nagas, come, raise your voices. Sing our song together towards our rightful place. True healing of our spirit. Kuknalim, yes, Kuknalim. Rounding my three senses, join us through broken lines. Our flag with dignity shall stand tall in radiance. Solidarity now, Nagalim forever be. Sing our song together. Nagas, come, raise your voices. Sing our song together towards our rightful place. True healing of our spirit. Kuknalim, yes, Kuknalim. Thank you.
Thank you, Eli Raivane Dumai, for the powerful song that truly captures the spirit of our gathering and reminded us of the strength and unity that lies at the heart of our community.
Thank you. Now we have a small presentation to be made from the host and Naga Student Chandel. For this, may I invite the president of Naga Student Chandel to be on stage. And I take this honor to call upon Ino Varayo Satsang, the General Secretary of United Naga Council, to be on the stage, please. Ino Chingmak Chang, President, Eastern Naga Students Federation, ENSF. ENSF. Next, we have Ino Atimiu Makuri, President, Eastern Naga Students Association. This is Ino Varayos Satsang, the General Secretary of United Naga Council. This is Ino Chingmak Chang, the President of Eastern Naga Students Federation. And this is Ino Atimiu Makuri, President, Eastern Naga Students Association. Thank you. We also invite Reverend Father Aloysius Saiva, Parish Priest, St. Paul's Parish Pallel, to be on the stage. And also we invite Reverend G. Kartu, Pastor, Liwa Sarei Church, to be on the stage, please. We also invite Reverend Dr. S.R. Olisma on the stage, please. This is Reverend Dr. S.R. Olisma, President CBC NEI. Thank you. We have a presentation to be made again. For this, may I invite the President of Naga Student Federation, Ino Medoviri, to be on the stage, please. For this presentation, may I call upon Ino Y. Pikeosu, who would be the keynote address for today's program, to be on the stage, please. Followed by Dr. Ningolo Krome, Secretary General, NPMHR, the speaker for today's first session. Next, this is Dr. Ninglo Krome, Secretary General and PMHR. Next, we have Professor Rosemary Zubichu, Senior Social Activist. Professor Rosemary Zubichu would be the speaker for today's second session. May I also invite Eli Villano Angela Yome, the President of Naga Mothers Association, NMA. May I also invite Ino Varayo Satsang, General Secretary, United Naga Council, to be on the stage. May I also invite Ino Chingmak Chang, the President, ENSF, to be on the stage. May I also invite Ino Atimiu Makuri, President, ENSA. May I invite Ino Runglar Elianal, President, Naga Students Union Chandel. May I invite Eli Raivani Dume, May I also invite 2ⁿᵈ Naga Morung, Ghana. Ghana. May I also invite Reverend Father Aloysius Saiva, Parish Priest, St. Paul's Parish, Pallel. And may I also invite Reverend J. Kartu, Pastor Liwa Sarei Baptist Church, to be on the stage.
Moving on, we are now privileged to hear the keynote address from Ino Y. Vikesu, a dedicated leader from Tuishimi with a BA from Kohima College, has been actively involved in students' organizations, including as president of the Naga Students Federation 1993 to 95. He has also contributed significantly to social causes and served as a member of Legislative Assembly, Parliamentary Secretary, and Minister in Nagaland. Currently, he leads as the President of NDPP's Agri and Allied Organization. Please join me in welcoming him to the stage.
I bring solidarity greetings from those of us who have come from Nagaland and beyond to each and every one of you gathered here this morning. At the outset, I want to thank God, the Almighty, for giving us this opportunity to come together and meet one another in this manner. I want to thank the President of the Naga Students Federation, Mr. Ino Medovi Ri, and his colleagues for initiating this program, the Naga Morung. This second edition of the Naga Morung, I believe, will help us once again open our eyes to the patches of our history, as well as to the realities of the present-day political dynamics and socio-economics occurrences and happenings affecting and shaping the course of our life. I want to thank the Naga Students Union Chandel and the village of Liwa, Sarei, for wholeheartedly hosting this program. I'm truly delighted to be here. In fact, I owe an apology to the Liwa Sarei village in particular, the Mongsang Students Union, Chandel, and the Mongsang tribe in general, in my ability to be with you when I was invited to be the chief guest on the occasion of your 55th session of the Mongsang Students Union in Chandel here. I want to thank the Naga Students Union Chandel and the NSF. It is through them today I'm here in your midst. I'm also truly delighted to be sharing this platform after a long gap with my longtime friends and associates, Mr. Somipam Longlen, Dr. Nigulo Krome, General Secretary General NPMHR, Professor Rosemary Zavichu, who was also my lecturer in Kohima College, to all the former NSF leaders, all the constituent units of the NSF, and some UNC, ADC members, church leaders, NMA, Naga Women's Union Manipur, Naga Women's Union Chandel present here. I extend my deepest respect to Chingmak Chang, President, Eastern Naga Students Federation, Atimui Mukuri, President, Eastern Naga Students Association, Saksam, General Secretary, UNC, and all other programs officials whom I am unable to mention by name. Naga leaders and student leaders, young and old, gathered here from different professions and walk of life, friends from the press fraternity. It is truly an honor for me to be invited to this prestigious program, the Naga Morung, and to be delivering the keynote address. Without much ado, I would like to take us back to a brief historical account of the Nagas as struggling people, desiring to be free people, living as we were before British colonialism came to our land. Nagas are a group of tribes known for our distinct cultures, languages, dialects, and our rich tradition. We are inhabitants of the northeastern part of India and inhabitants of a substantial portion of Burma, now Myanmar. Aside from the state of Nagaland, which is wholly inhabited by the Naga people, a significant Naga population resides in Manipur, Arunachal, and Assam in India. Nagas have resisted alien rule. This is recounted as early as 1832, when the first Anglo-Konoma Angami Naga battle was fought. It took the British as many as 11 expeditions, losing a lot of lives, to subjugate 2 Angami villages. The British described the expedition as extraordinary stubbornness on the part of the Konoma Angami Naga. Prior to the battle and encounter with British, our forefathers have actively resisted any form of intrusion to our land by the Ahoms, by the Dimasas, the Kacharis, the Manipuris, and the Burmese. In 1929, Naga people submitted a memorandum to the British Simon Commission, which was a statutory commission to report to the working of the Indian Constitution established by the Government of India Act 1919. The outcome of the Simon Commission was the Government of India Act 1935. As per the demand of the Naga Memorandum to the Simon Commission, the Government of India Act 1935 left the Nagas outside the reform scheme of India and placed the Naga people under the excluded area category. This was later unilaterally abrogated by Government of India. Sensing the British Parliament preparedness to grant independence to India, Naga people went to Delhi to meet Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the Indian nation, to ascertain the Naga people's position from him on July 19, 1947, wherein Mahatma Gandhi told the Naga delegation that Nagas have every right to be independent. Following this assurance, Naga people declared our independence on 14 August 1947, one day before India declared her independence. The message of the Declaration of Independence was sent to the Government of India to the King of England, to the Secretary General of the United Nations Organization, and the officers of all the embassies in New Delhi. To further authenticate, legitimize, and endorse the declaration of the Naga independence, the Nagas under the aegis of Naga National Council, NNC, Naga plebiscite was conducted on 16th May 1951, wherein 99.9% voted in favor of independent Naga homeland. The visit of the Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and the British Premier U Nu to Kohima and Khamti in 1953 was a harbinger of gruesome history in Indo-Naga relations, as an indiscriminate demarcation of boundary was curved between India and Burma without the consultation of the Naga people, and notably dividing the Konyak country into different nations with an international border cutting right through the middle of the house of the Ang of Longwa village in Mon district, which was followed by an onset of bloodshed and agony because of the open conflict between Nagas and the Indian armed forces. The resistance of foreign rule, which started in isolated pockets in the earliest form, gradually evolved into a Naga national movement. The Naga National Council, under the visionary leadership of A.Z. Pizzo, gave a distinct identity and clear direction to Naga nationalism by representing the entire Naga people with the objective of integrating all the Naga inhabited areas. In order to appease the Nagas, the government of India entered into a 16-point agreement with some Naga overground leaders who had formed the Naga People's Convention in 1960, which led to the creation of the present Nagaland state. The 13th point of the 16-point agreement reads, and I quote, "The other Naga tribes inhabiting the areas contiguous to the present Nagaland be allowed to join the state of Nagaland if they so desired." Close inverted. In keeping with the spirit of the letter of this agreement and upholding the desire with the spirit, the desire and aspiration of the Naga people to live together under one administrative umbrella, the Nagaland Legislative Assembly has passed resolutions on several occasions for the integration of all Naga inhabited areas, including on 12 December 1964 during the Chief Ministership of P. Shulu Ao, on 28 August 1970 during the Chief Ministership of Hokishe Sema, on 16 September 1994 during the Chief Ministership of Dr. S.C. Jamir, on 18 December 2003 during the Chief Ministership of Dr. Nipi Rio, and most recently on 27 July 2015 during the Chief Ministership of T.R. Zilian. The desire of the Nagas to live together under one administrative unit should not be undermined or compromised. In the last couple of years, the state of Manipur has seen a massive demographic upheaval that has resulted in the loss of precious, innocent lives and property, an internal displacement of people. This conflict has polarized the populace at of the present state of Manipur into opposing camps. While it is not my intention to delve into the whys and hows of the conflict, I want to remind the people, and not just the Nagas, that eventually, after the flames of violence simmer down, we must accept the undeniable fact that nobody can live in a vacuum. Nobody can live in a world where one neighbor is perpetually distrust or hated by the other. We, the people, must find a way to peacefully coexist with each other. It is imperative that we find and explore ways to settle our differences without restoring to mindless violence. Violence only perpetuates violence without settling anything, a vicious cycle of hatred, suspicions, and fear that has no end. I take this opportunity to call upon all the stakeholders to desist from perpetrating violence on the other with impunity, but engage in people-to-people dialogue and find non-violence means to settle conflicts. The free movement regime, while it was re-established in 2018 as part of India's Act East policy, has been making headlines for the Nagas in recent times. The unilateral decision of the government of India to scrap the FMR has caused unrest, apprehension amongst people living in India-Myanmar border in the northeastern states of Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Mizoram, and Manipur. The Naga people living in these border areas are also going to be severely impacted by the border fencing construction that has already started in some places. In this context, in solidarity with the various tribal bodies and organizations that have come out publicly against scrapping of FMR, the 14th Nagaland Legislative Assembly has also passed a resolution on FMR along the Indo-Naga Myanmar border, stating that suspension of FMR will cause immense hardship and inconveniences and add agony to the Naga people living in Indo-Myanmar border areas. The efforts that are being put in by the civil society organizations, student bodies, and other groups must be intensified. We must let the government of India realize in no uncertain terms that Nagas are not in favor of further dividing the Naga people by constructing a physical fencing along the border. The various Naga political groups have entered into the ceasefire agreement with the government of India since 1997, some of whom are engaged in political negotiations. As a result, the government of India have signed two major agreements with the Nagas. The framework agreement on 3rd August 2015 with the NSC and IM, and the agreed position with the Working Committee of the Naga National Political Groups in November 2017. The fact that people across the world, including the youth, that however complicated a problem might be, it can be resolved through dialogue, close inverted. The government of India must also have the political will and the sincerity to enter into political settlement that is honorable, acceptable, and inclusive of all Nagas. The spontaneous display of optimism exhibited by Honorable Prime Minister Modi that particular day in Dubai should not be a mere lip service to an adorning crowd of expatriates. The conviction and belief in problem solving through dialogue must be demonstrated in political arena. In conclusion, at this juncture in our history, the most pivotal role must be borne by the Naga civil organizations. The social support structure that we have built over the years through the students' organizations, youth organizations, women organizations, human rights organizations, tribal bodies, churches, etc., must be strengthened and revitalized. In a perfect world, rights should be bestowed, but we do not live in a perfect world. Rights rights must be demanded and fought for. Sooner or later, it is the voice of the people that will prevail. Thank you, 2ⁿᵈ.
Thank you, Inowai Vikehoshu, for your inspiring keynote address. Your words resonated deeply, reminding us of the values of unity, resilience, and patriotism. We truly appreciate the time and effort you took to share your wisdom and experience with us today. Once again, thank you, sir. Next, we have solidarity message from Ino Varayo Satsan, General Secretary, United Naga Council. You may please come and take your time. Thank you.
Respected Chairperson of the occasion, compeers, President of NSF and his esteemed colleagues, President and colleagues of NSUC, President and colleagues of ANSAM, President Eastern Naga Students Federation, President Eastern Naga Students Association, Program partakers of the Naga Morung, speakers of the first and second session of the Naga Morung, President of Naga Mothers Association, Vice President and her esteemed colleagues of Naga Women Union, Convener of NPMHR South, President and colleagues of CNBO, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen. As we gather here in this sacred morung, I'm honored to stand before you today to express our solidarity with the Naga people across the borders. The theme of the Naga Morung, 2ⁿᵈ, is the Naga nationalist slogan, meaning victory to the people and land. The theme aptly reflects Naga's political vision and nationhood. The founding of Naga Club in Kohima on January 7, 1918 by a group of salaried individuals from the Deputy Commissioner's office in Kohima with the aim of uniting the Naga people and addressing the socio-political issues had paved way to instill the spirit of nationalism and resonates deeply with the shared values of unity, resilience, and collective progress thus far. If we go back to history, it was in 1929 that the political journey was officially articulated, and accordingly a memorandum was submitted to the Simon Commission to let the Nagas free. wherever we are situated, freely decide our political future unhindered by any external forces. Keeping in view with this political commitment, we declared independence on the 14th August 1947 and a plebiscite conducted on the 16th of May 1951 in which 99.9% of the Nagas voted in favor of Naga independence. We have always risen above obstruction and challenges which confronted our people with the help of God and successfully negotiated our way through seemingly insurmountable mirages like the 9-point agreement of 1947, 16-point of 1960, and the Shillong Accord of 1975, etc. But we still have the same blood flowing through our veins, which equips us with the requisite ingenuity and courage to conquer and overcome obstacles, whether manufactured from within or without. And with God by our side, no one can stop us. As we gathered here in the sacred Naga Morung, let us acknowledge our rich cultural heritage and traditions that have been passed down through generations of the Naga people. Our language, history, customs and practices are a testament to our unique identity and history. This historic occasion at the geostrategic location at Liwa Sarei village ground Chandel is an opportune moment to unite, support one another, and work collaboratively to address our shared challenges. Let us work together to build stronger, more vibrant Naga communities that are grounded in shared value and traditions. The United Naga Council, on behalf of the Southern Nagas, brings you greetings and unconditional support. May the commitment of the NSF to pursue the Naga political vision remain unconquerable, undefeated, and undaunted now and forever. 2ⁿᵈ.
Thank you, Innovarayu Satsang, for your heartfelt solidarity message. Your words emphasize the importance of unity in addressing the challenges we face and moving forward as one strong community. Moving on, we will hear solidarity message from Ino Jingmak Chang, President of the Eastern Naga Students Federation. Please join me in welcoming him to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just for your information, I've traveled more than 600 kilometers to be here this afternoon to be with all of you. I thank God and I am honored and I feel privileged and I feel blessed to be here this afternoon to share a few thoughts on during this Naga Morung event. This is the second time that the Naga Students Federation is organizing this program. Last year I was also invited to be a part of the program, but I was traveling to some other places, so I could not attend. And this time, just to let all of you know, just a couple of weeks away, I am hosting my conference as well. We are in a very tight situation, but we thought that this is one of the most important gatherings, so that's why we made ourselves available to be here. All of us could not come, but few of us could turn up, and I feel great listening to all the stories, listening to what our forefathers, listening to what our leaders have done. Thanks to all the former speakers who took the stage. My respect to the two lovely compares of today's program, my respect to the President, Naga Students Federation, my friend Mr. Medovi Ri and his team. My respect to the host team, Naga Students Union Chandel. My respect to all the federating units, the constituent units of Naga Students Federation. My respect to all the partakers of today's program. This is my second time coming to the South. I have been to Ukrul during the conference, the general session of Naga Students Federation a year ago. There, I had the privilege to listen to so many speakers, to so many elders, the Naga elders, to so many intellectuals. And today, I was just, yesterday while coming, I was just driving and I was thinking about what to speak today. And I'm sure this is not the first session, this is not the only session, but we have 2 more sessions again. Our leaders, our resource person here, our intellectuals, they will speak a lot about Naga unity. They will speak a lot about the history, the pain, the struggles that we have gone through in the past. But today, I will present you a very small story from my area. And I feel because it's important for all of us to understand what has gone through in your region and what has gone through in my region as well. Because those days, for people like us, for Eastern Nagas, we got introduced to education after more than 50 to 70 years. We got exposed to Christianity after 50 to 70 years. So therefore, there is no any written record. However, the history narrated by our forefathers, the history that is passed down to us, and I think it is worth mentioning also. In so many occasions, I've shared so many incidents that took place in our area, but today I want to share a small incident again. It was around 1951 and 1952 when Azad Fiso came to our place. I come from Chiang Mai village. That incident took place in Chiang Mai. There was this guy, illiterate, uneducated, who has never seen a classroom, who has never seen a desk. He was with Azad Fiso. So when the Indian army, they came and ransacked the entire villages, he was the guy, the man called Hongin. He was responsible to take care of the documents, a small trunk where it contains so many important documents. He was responsible for that. He had no idea of what was written because he is illiterate. He cannot read nor write. However, he was trying his best not to give away the important documents to the Indian army, where he was stabbed, where his body was pierced through a bayonet, and he died there. Later, it came into Hongin government. Do not be confused with the name and the name of the government. One was Hongin, and the other one, the government was Hongkin. Hongkin means stop the plain people, shun the plain people. That government came in to be very popular. And our people, I want to be blunt also. We were minding our own business, the eastern areas. Those days, nobody could invade us. The British government tried once. They had a small battle just below Tuishimi town, just nearby Tuishimi village. And they retreated. And we were called a free land, unadministered area under NEFA. We knew nothing about all these struggles during that time. But all of a sudden, our fellow brothers came to our land. And to be very honest, our people were very loyal, very innocent. We knew nothing about this. But a fellow Naga coming to our land, we had to protect him. We started to take his side. And that's how our schools were burned down. That's how our churches were burned down. That's how my entire village was ransacked, and we had to stay in jungle for 2 years without coming back to village. So many people died there, and we had to stay like that. So that's how the Naga solution, that's how the fight for Naga cause started in our area. And I don't know whether you are aware of this, but Azad Fiso, he was a citizen of my village in the later part, and his name was Ngagu Somba. He was named as Ngagu Somba Chang. Not Chang, Ngagu Somba. So that was the kind of sacrifices that we have also, do. Today, I look at people, I go everywhere to the boundary of Burma. I have visited so many districts, so many places, and so many programs. I want to challenge all of us with this one word, the sense of belongingness. If you go to my village, where there is no road, my village, I come from a village, I reside near, I come from Burma Boundary. There is no network there. If you ask one of the villagers, what do you want right now? They will say, give a network here, ani divina. Please bring internet for us, so that we can also watch YouTube, so that we can also talk to families, so that we can also talk to friends who are away from village. If you go to someone with no roads and ask, what do you want? They will ask for a road. We want development. We want basic amenities like hospital. We want basic amenities like schools. They will ask for that. Today, before we talk about unity, unity will take place by itself. But if all of us, every Naga individual have the sense of belongingness, have the sense that this fight is mine. This fight is not for my leaders, but this is mine. I will tell you a short story. Just last year, parliamentary election took place. The eastern area, we have 20 elected members, we have voters of more than 4 lakhs. The 8 tribes, we decided we will not vote during this election because we also have a small demand going on with the government of India. We decided that we will not vote, and nobody, not even a single vote was casted that day. Because I'll tell you why. I'll give you this interesting reason. Because not just me, I was in Tuishimi headquarters that time. We gave a circular that the eastern people, nobody should vote this time. You should listen, you should follow the instructions given by ENPO. You should follow the instructions given by NSF. So I went back to Tuishimi and I was driving my car. I met one of my old friends, he is a drunkard. He saw me and told me, if any of you leaders break this resolution, we will crush your vehicle. I will be the first person to throw a stone at your vehicle. And I thought he is my old friend, so he must be joking. I went up. If anyone of you have seen the clock tower at Tuishimi, you will know. I went up the clock tower and I saw one old lady. We have known each other for so long. He came to me and said, if you break this resolution this time, we will not have any faith in you. And I will be the first person to ask for your resignation. So it was not the leaders who were in the front. It was not the President NSF. It was not President EMBO. But it was the public. It was that person living near Burma. It was that person living who has never gone to school. They had that feeling that this frontier Naga territory is mine. This is for me. And until and unless all of us, Nagas located in so many different regions, beyond borders, I think until and unless all of us come to a conclusion that this fight is mine, then I think we will win this big fight also. Why does it feel that only few political groups are fighting for our cause? Why do we feel that only few political groups will be benefited? I want to be blunt. We look at it and we feel like that way. And therefore, before speaking about unity, I think we should be the one to raise this voice. And all of us, we should understand that this fight is yours and this fight is mine. And lastly, talking about free movement regime and talking about the border fencing. Many years back, EMBO, our eastern area, led by EMBO, ENSF, INVO, we made a resolution that we will stop. We will never allow the government of India to put a fencing. And that resolution still stands today. We have reiterated to that recently also. We do not go to press also, but I think we sat together and we came up with a resolution that we will stop fencing. Last time also when the government of India came to construct a fencing, our people, because our people, we are known for that. Our forefathers never taught us how to write and read, but they taught us how to swing the dao They taught us how to throw a spear, and therefore they went with 2ⁿᵈ spear and they stopped it. The villagers, it was not the EMBO leaders, it was not the NSF leaders, but it was the villagers that stopped. And therefore, even today, if we all come together, nothing is impossible, and unitedly we can stop this fencing as well. Thank you so much for having Eastern Naga Students Federation. God bless NSF, God bless the NSF, God bless the Nagas. Thank you.
Thank you, Chingmak-chang, the president of Eastern Naga Students Federation. Thank you for your thoughtful and encouraging solidarity message. We also thank you for letting us know more about Nagas living across the borders. Your words of support and unity serve as a source of strength and inspiration for the Nagas. Thank you once again for your continued dedication. Now next we have solidarity message from Ino Atimiu Makuri, the President, Eastern Naga Students Association. You may please come and take your time. Thank you.
Heartfelt gratitude to the Naga Students Federation for organizing the 2ⁿᵈ Naga Morung that brings Nagas together. Many speakers have talked about unity, and I think we'll keep on talking about unity unless Nagas are being united. I am honored to stand before you all and deliver a solidarity message under the theme Kuknalim on behalf of Eastern Naga Students Association. The word Kuknalim is a word that embodies our strength, bravery, and the unbreakable spirit of our people. But as we gather here, we must ask ourselves, where do we truly place this phrase in our lives if unity remains outreach? Kuknalim, our battle cry, is a symbol of courage, honor, and resilience. But where do we truly place its meaning when our unity remains fractured? Kuknalim, the Naga solution, Naga sovereignty, and our unique history, none of this can be realized unless we, the Naga people, stand united as one. The division within the Naga family did not arise overnight. They began at the smallest levels, clan against clan, tribe against tribe, and have now extended across regions, east, west, north, and south. And where did it all begin? With you and me, with jealousy and distrust. Thousands of Nagas' lives have laid down for our cause. We did not bring them back. We cannot bring them back, nor can we repay their sacrifice with material wealth that we have today. But we can honor their spirit by standing together in unity as oneness. We must not let their sacrifices go in vain. The Nagas freedom movement must not fade into history as a fragmented struggle. We must work tirelessly to restore our broad and courageous legacy. The entire Naga nation stood together in the past, and we can stand together again. Enough is enough. It is time to put an end to factionalism, the constant formation of new organizations in an already fragmented society. It only deepens our divisions. Unification is the need of the hour. Let me also talk a little bit about the Eastern Nagas. Since today we have got two Eastern Nagas, why not we consider our former speaker, Chingmak-chang, as a Middle East Naga. I will be speaking on behalf of the Nagas of Myanmar occupied Nagaland. If you are not aware, we have 7 major tribes out there in Eastern Nagaland. namely Tangshang Naga, Kongyak Naga, Lainung Naga, Khemnyon Naga, Muguri Naga, Para Naga, Tangkul Naga, and then there are many sub-tribes coming out on the process of recognition. The Eastern Nagas and our land must never be left out of any Naga discussions, agreements, or aspirations. We have been a part of the Naga freedom movement from the very beginning, in faith, in action, and in history. But let not these agreements and dialogues be half-hearted or driven by short-term benefits. Let us all take our time, but ensure that our struggle remains strong, complete, and unwavering. The Eastern Nagas are your people, and our land is your land. Never forget us under any circumstance. We know that every Naga loves us and support us, but very few show it through action. We, the Eastern Nagas, are struggling daily for survival. We have no schools, no roads, no healthcare. Meanwhile, in the West, the focus is on better facilities, development, education, and technology. The reality in Indian-occupied Nagaland is a pursuit of comfort and modernity. But in the East, we fight for the bare minimum for survival. And now, with Myanmar's political turmoil, our lives, education, and economy have been turned upside down. While we deeply appreciate all of you who have raised your voices against the scrapping of free movement region and border fencing on behalf of Nagas across artificial border, but let us also remove the borders within our hearts and minds. Let us abandon labels of backward and advanced tribes, Eastern, Western, Southern, Northern Nagas. If we are to achieve our ultimate goal and vision, we must fight this struggle together. May God bless you all. Pugnalim.
Thank you, Ino Atimoy Mercury, for your motivating words and for highlighting the vibrant diversity of the Naga people across borders and demonstrating their steadfast patriotism in campaigning the vision of a unified Naga nation. Your perspectives are truly motivating. Now, as we transition to the first session of the day, I would like to hand over the session to our esteemed chairperson, Ino Somipam Lungleng.
Thank you, Kampir. Much has been said about the struggle of our history, the sacrifice, and the imbroglio of the movement in this present time. Now we will hear the way forward. What's next for the Nagas? May I call upon Dr. Dingolo Krome, the Secretary General of the Naga People's Movement for Human Rights, to kindly come on stage and take his time.
It is my privilege to introduce Dr. Ningulo Krome, the Secretary General of the Naga People's Movement for Human Rights, founder of All Nagaland College Students Union, and a senior leader of Naga Student Federation. Dr. Krome has been a tireless advocate for human rights, working diligently to protect and promote the rights of the Naga people. In recognition of his exceptional contributions, Dr. Krome was awarded the iconic honorary Doctor of Human Rights Protection with a gold medal for his outstanding work in human rights advocacy. His unwavering commitment to justice and human dignity has made a profound impact in the region and beyond. Please join me in honoring and welcoming Dr. Ningulo Krome to the stage.
Thank you, compeers, for that kind and generous And in order to save time, I will not be address all the dignitaries here, but just allow me to thank the president of NSF, the Chandel Students Union, the host, for this opportunity and for bringing Nagas together in this small corner of the Naga world. First of all, I want to thank our little sister who sang the song Kuknalim, and to tell you how this song came about. In fact, this was the theme song of Naga Week, which was held in 1993, along with the rest of the world, when the world, under the banner of the United Nations, celebrated the Year of Indigenous Peoples across the world. And Nagas were a proud partner. So from December 1 to 5, we had the Naga Week, where Nagas, for the first time, from all over Nagaland, from across Burma, from different parts of Nagaland, all came and assembled at the Kohima local ground with each morung. Every Naga tribe construct their own morung in their traditional way. Today, the Hornbill Festival is a copycat of the Naga Week that we celebrated. And during this time, in order to bring Nagas together and to heal the wounds of the Naga people, that was a time when killings among the Nagas were unstoppable, and lots of innocent people were killed. And Naga mothers had to frame the slogans, "Shed no more blood," collected dead bodies, blown and killed across the street of Kohima, Dimapur, Wakam, Mokoksun, wherever it is. So we took 1 month, the organizing committee of the Naga Week, 1 month to phrase this slogan, concept note for the Naga Week, and we phrased it as "Towards our rightful place," that is our Naga, independence, sovereignty, unification, whatever. Towards our rightful place through healing of our spirit. We get that slogan to the Reverend Dr. Wati Iyer to compile the song, and we gave him 1 week to compose the songs, the lyrics. After he gave the lyrics, we hand over the lyrics of the song with the tonic sofa and hand that over to Mount Hermon School at Kohima, which is run by a Tangkul and Mao couple, Mount Hermon School. And we asked them to form a choir, and we gave them 1 month to sing this song as the theme song of the Naga Week. So ever since, this song has become almost the next to Naga national anthem through the partnership of NSF and MPMHR, during which I was the convener, Vicky Ho was the co-convener, Somipam was one of the members of the organizing committee. It's a proud privilege to be assembled before you again, to hear that song and to share, to see each other's face after many, many years of being separated in our ways. I will not dwell much on the past or the history. Former speakers have very, very nicely covered a lot of it, including the keynote address. But we are told, when we ask where Nagas came from, we were told that our forefathers traveled from Mongolia through China in Yunnan province and to Burma and to this part of the world. Where was Mongolia? That also was a question we did not even know. After ceasefire came in 1997, in 2001, after our stories were being told, when Nagas traveled to Delhi on a journey of conscience, people in Delhi came to know who Nagas are. And in that instance, the ambassador of Mongolia came to know and heard about the Naga struggle and the peace process. And since there was a ceasefire, he took the opportunity to visit Kohima in 2001. We met at Kohima, we discussed about these stories, and he said he heard the same thing, so he came to Kohima, to Nagaland. So we said, to begin with, tracing back our roots, why don't we have a cultural exchange? A cultural troop from Mongolia and a cultural troop from Nagaland will merge, will meet in New Delhi. Sometimes within a span of at least 1 year or 2 years, within that we will. So he was entrusted to organize that cultural meet. Government of India came to know about this, and he was given 1 month to pack up and leave Delhi. Even his embassy was closed down. That was how India has been treating Nagas, even in the guise of ceasefire, peace talks, negotiations, and whatever. Anyway, that is what has brought us till today, thus far. Nagas, as our former speaker Keynote has mentioned, we can trace about us only in 1832, when Britishers came to invade our land. For 47 long years, Nagas fought back the Britishers, the invading forces. It was only in 1879 December, or let's say 1880, but it was 79 December. The British forces, led by Captain Damant, broke the fortress of Konama and started occupying. But Damant was killed by the Naga villagers. But in order to show respect even to our enemies, Nagas have built his cemetery, his grave, in the middle of Konama village, on top of the hill, in the middle of the village, just across the church. Till today, it is preserved as a small cemetery in the form of a park. People do come to visit. And when Prince Andrew, the younger brother of King Charles of England now, who is the King of England now, came to visit Nagaland some 10, 15 years back, I forgot the year. He went to Konama to Captain Damant's grave to pay his respect and to thank the Naga people, to show his respect to the honor and the gentleman behavior of the Naga people. Nagas, even in a small and weak situation, we are gentlemen, gentlewomen in every sense of the term. After Britishers conquered in 1880, they occupied our land for another 79 years. But they ruled our land not as a part of India, but as an excluded area. When Britishers left, as mentioned earlier, India came and militarily occupied our land. And for the last 78 years, I don't have to tell you what India has done to us. In this, after 1947 and after bifurcating our land, dividing our land, our people into pieces, what government of India have done. So I'm going to stress more on the crossroads. Now, there are other speakers have mentioned about other agreements with the government of India, the fights that we had. Yes, hundreds and thousands of Nagas have been killed, but we did not cry, we did not complain. We died with honor. So here, I want to thank the President this morning of Chandel when he said, we will die on our feet, not on our knees. That is the call of the day. That is the call of the day. I wanted to conclude my speech with that, but he said it on all of behalf. I want to thank him. That is the call of the day. We'll die on our feet, not on our knees. So after all these years of the first agreement, second agreement of the ceasefire, even in the first ceasefire in 1964, government of India kept back in on this road. So that was a time, even in the midst of a peace negotiation, Naga leaders decided that India cannot be trusted. The only way to find some support is to go to China, whether we like it or not. So when our people walked to China to bring arms, to receive arms training, because all this while we have been fighting India with muzzle-loading spears and dows, and the leftover 2ⁿᵈ rifles and Japan rifles of the Second World War. Our people, led by General Chandel as the army chief and T.H. Liwa as the political leaders, went to China to tell China how Nagas are suffering and that we need arms, ammunition, and training. That is how the China trip started. After that, several trips also made. But during these discussions, China told our leader, negotiator, if you become communist, Nagas, you do not have to fight. We will send Chinese army to come and defend and liberate your land. Liwa replied, if you want to tell Nagas to become communist, we don't want a single bullet from you. We are Christians and will be Christians till we die forever. Those days, Christianity was banned in China. Talking about Christian Jesus Christ was a crime in China. But after this interaction with the Nagas, they had to come there for quite some time. Government of India, government of China, not only allowed Nagas to sing songs of Christianity, to preach the gospel, but they even built a church for the Nagas to worship God. That is how our relationship with China started. And when guns, for the first time, called Chinese rifles, automatic rifles, are heard that are coming from across the border through Burma, Nagas were at home, villagers, young boys and girls, they were so excited. The might of the Indian army did not matter anymore. Maybe it is only 10 guns, 100 guns, or 1 gun. But we thought Chinese automatic rifles were the most superior at that time. And that was how the fights started. Now, fast forward, we had the second ceasefire in 1997. Now it is 28 years of negotiation. Agreements were being made. In the first years of the ceasefire, the first interlocutor was Mr. Sarei, who brought the Mizoram agreement, the Mizoram Accord, who solved the Mizoram problem. In a span of less than 2 years, in the process of negotiating with our leaders, the Naga leaders, he said, publicly said, Nagas have every right to be independent. The government of India immediately removed him. He was removed because he understood that Nagas were right. So he was replaced by former Home Secretary K. Padmanabhai, who is reputed to be the strongest Home Secretary India ever had. So he became the negotiators. It was under him that the Bangkok Agreement was signed. The Amsterdam Joint Communique Declaration was signed. In a span of 10 years, when he tried to convince the Naga leaders in so many ways that Naga should not separate from India. Our leaders told him again and again and again the uniqueness of Nagas, and that we're not Indians, we can never become Indian, nor Indians. At the end of the day, he admitted, yes, Nagas are right. Again, he was quickly removed. After he was removed, there was a gap and there was no interlocutor for some time. But Ajit Lal, who was an IB chief, when ceasefire agreements were signed, was posted as the interlocutor, and our Nagas leaders thought he is somebody who understood the Naga story, since he knew about the Nagas when the agreements were signed in 1997. But they kept him on for about 6 months. He was never even made the full interlocutor, just to fill up the gap. Then after him, R.S. Pandey was brought in. R.S. Pandey served in Nagaland for more than 33 years. He was the chief secretary of Nagaland. When he came as the interlocutor, he understood the Nagas back and forth. And he knew that Nagas will never compromise unless some kind of independence or sovereignty is being granted. So he proposed and made this draft, which is called the Framework Agreement today. And it was just a preamble to the agreements that will follow. So in this framework agreement, Mr. Pandey phrased the word shared sovereignty. So here, after that, knowing what government of India will do, but he has at least acknowledged that Nagas will not agree unless sovereignty is part of the deal. And after making this draft, it was never published during his time, but he resigned. When he resigned as the interlocutor, made his submission to the government of India, and he asked for a BJP ticket to contest the election. He was even denied the party ticket by the BJP government. So that is how Mr. R.N. Ravi came into the picture. And that is how we have all seen how R.N. Ravi has been dealing with the Nagas, treating us like small boys, sometimes as half human, testing our minds, insulting our intelligence. So when these issues were going on, Naga civil societies, we are all part, always following closely the process of the negotiation, peace talks. We had no choice, but we had to go back to the people of India. In 2001, we went on a journey of conscience to touch the hearts and souls of Nagas, of Indians, with 66 Nagas from every walk of life, including the church leaders. This time, we had to invite leaders from Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Assam, Bodoland, wherever. Whoever were struggling in India, we converge at Delhi, and we say, look, this is what India has been doing in the last so many years of peace negotiation. And ceasefire, our peace cannot sustain under this situation. So we converge under the caption, save the peace. At least save the peace, let us not break the peace. But when all these struggling people from across India came under the banner of Nagas to save the peace, government of India had no choice but to remove Arandravi in less than that. That is the stand of our organizations, and we still stand on that. So friends, there are some people who think that Nagas of present Nagaland have forgotten their brothers and sisters across the borders or across state boundaries. I tell you, we don't recognize any of these boundaries. We don't recognize any artificial boundaries, whether international, national, or intertribal, whatever. But we are indeed caught in a lot of confusion. There are hundreds of Nagas who are professing solution as stakeholders. Even single people are calling themselves as stakeholders. Even people who have opposed the Naga national movement all their lives, starting from their parents till today, calling themselves as stakeholders and threatening people who have given their life, their best, their everything. So it is time has come for us to differentiate between what is right and what is wrong. We have to take out the husk from the grain, I think. The time is coming. And so, we also have been saying in our own ways that ceasefire should not be broken by us. Naga should not break. Let India break if they want. And we also know that we cannot fight India with her mighty Indian soldiers. But they're not so mighty in front of God. So as this morning our brother president said, if worse come to worse, we will die standing but not on our knees. Our leaders who formed our identity, who gave us our identity, who gave our history, all of them are dying one by one. Starting from Aliba to Piso, to Isaac, Koli, Kodao, Imkong, Yangkong, and Yangkong's ash is still in a church in London. Personally told me, please take my ash from London to Nagaland. Only after Nagaland get independent. It is still there in London. Today, Isaac and Moiva and Tennessee who led the Nagas to Burma, to China, and brought hope to our people and sustained our movement till today. Both of them are bedridden. Only God knows when they will go or how long they will stay with us. But 100 more pesos are coming up. Likewise, 100 more Isaac and others, Yangkong, Imkong will come up. And I see so much of you with much more better capacities and ability than those leaders who have gone beside us, before us. It was in 2017, after the framework agreement was signed and they were not able to implement, that some of us, including Madam Rosemary, went and met the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, and in no uncertain terms, we told him, Mr. Prime Minister, if you want to solve the problem, it has to be you when you're the Prime Minister. There will be no other Prime Minister who can be assertive as you and who will have the command of the Parliament. Whether people criticize you or not, you will be able to take decisions and implement the agreement. Likewise, do it when Mr. T.H. Moiva is still alive. If you think you're going to negotiate better after he's gone, think twice. Good or bad, if you implement an agreement when he's still alive, he will implement it. People will respect it. But if some others will try, and we don't know how far it can go. But do it during your time. he kind of assured us, but we all know what is happening. And even in 2001, when the first Bangkok Agreement was signed, called the Bangkok Declaration, the ceasefire is without limit. Ceasefire is across wherever Nagas are. It is not confined to Nagaland state. And we met Prime Minister in the backdrop of the Meitei rising in Impal, protesting against the ceasefire extension to Naga areas here. We asked the Prime Minister, are you going to honor it, the Bangkok Declaration, or are you going to dishonor it? Go back on your word because Meiteis are protesting in the valley. He said, no, I will never go back on my word. The same evening at 7 o'clock, we met him at 11 o'clock. In the evening at 7 o'clock, his Home Minister, L.K. Advani, announced that the ceasefire is rolled back. It's confined only to the state of Naga. And that's how the interpretation goes on till today. And the question of integration has been corrupted. And then people are already fed with confusion, anger, frustrations. Today, as keynote speaker have said, Prime Minister Modi, after signing the framework agreement, when announced in Dubai, I have made peace with the Nagas. And he even thought he would get the Nobel Peace Prize just a couple of years back. Today, what is happening to his peace with the Nagas in the framework agreement? Another agreement was signed. I don't have to mention. Today, the Home Minister is again, just like Akhiavani, is saying Naga problem has to resolve within the MP on the Indian Constitution. And Mishra is just following that. His master's voice. He has no decision. So, Nagas cannot go back on our words. We will not go back on our commitment. And we will not give up our fight for our rights. But what is going to happen now, we don't know. We don't know. Prime Minister say one thing, Home Minister says another thing. We have several MPs cutting across all political party, understanding the situation now, even including the BJP MPs. But they could not sign the last time, otherwise they will be expelled from the party. But the world knows about Nagas now. Earlier we tried to go to the United Nations to preach about ourselves, to share our stories. We were not able to go, but after ceasefire we have been going. International community has come to know what Nagas are. Our neighbors come to understand what is our situation. Indians across the whole Indian subcontinent, from north to south to west. Indian civil population have come to know about the Naga situation. They don't want to break India, as there are also good Indians, but they know Nagas are right. And they want government of India to give an honorable solution to the Nagas. The only thing is they also feel that, oh, please don't leave us. Even if you become independent or sovereign, be a part of us. That is what is many civil society leaders are saying. Coming back to our situation, you all must be wondering, what do we do with our neighbors? Let me tell you, Pizzo went to London in 1960. Before he went to London, before he left this part of the continent, he went to Mizoram. He told the Mizos, join the Nagas. Join the Nagas. They refused. He went to London. In 1964, 3 Mizos, suppose one doctor was there in London that time, 3 of them went to London, Pizzo's house. requesting Piso, please include us as Nagas. Piso said, it is too late. It is too late. In the backdrop of the Métis uprising in 2001 and the withdrawal of extensions of ceasefire, whatever it is, Naga civil societies, we said, that since we have to live together, we ask the Métis community, let us meet and talk. Let us meet and talk. We will come to, if we can come to Impal, we will come to Mauge, or even Kampopi, up to Kampopi we will come. They could not take the risk. Then they agreed to come to Kohima. And so, that time, as you will be knowing, Amuko was the umbrella organization of all the Métis organizations. They have hundreds and thousands of small organizations, and Amuko was, today UCM is there. So the president of Amuko, his finance secretary, his treasurer, 3 professors from Manipur University and other human rights organizations, 10 of them came to Kohima, and we had a long, whole day discussion about our issues and our need to support each other. And we made a statement under the caption, conversations with neighborly conversation. We made a statement called neighborly conversation. And we explained what Nagas are fighting for, who Nagas are. And that we meant no harm to our neighbors. They said, we know, now we fully understand. Nagas, you are right. But the moment we said, you are right, we cannot step into the Impal Valley. We'll be killed in the first instance. So from our side, I think Nagas have done whatever we can to make others understand us, and we did understand this difficult situation if Nagas get our right. We so Maida also says on so many occasions told the Indian delegation, if India would understand the Nagas for one time, Nagas will understand India 10 more times. I think many of you who have met him during the past few years when he was able to talk with our people, delegates, you must have heard him saying that. So Nagas, on our part, I think we have done whatever is called gentlemanly deal on our part. But if others choose to betray and take advantage of the gentleman inside us, we will not be caught sleeping. We will not die on our knees. We will not die after our women are raped and murdered, houses burned, children killed. We will die on our feet. Thank you, my friends.
Thank you, Speaker Dr. Ninglo Krome, Secretary General in BMHR, for taking us through the topic, Naga yesterday, the Odyssey, Nagas today, the crossroad. So thank you, Chairman Somipam Munlin. Now we have cultural dance to be performed by Jyoti Athoral Ngayapom Kana. You may please come and take your time.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Chote Athoral Abong Kana cultural troupe for their captivating performance.
Thank you once again. We have small presentation to be made. For this presentation, may I call our President, Naga Student Federation, Medobiri, to be on the stage, please. May I invite the President of Chandel Naga People Organization to be on the stage, please. Stage, please. Thank you, President. The Naga Morung also acknowledged the presence of NLTV Media House from Nagaland and Imphal Free Press. Thank you. Professor Rosemary Zubichu, she's a co-convener of Global Naga Forum and also advisor to Naga Mothers Association and also Director, Center for Peace and Gender Studies. The first woman co-convener of Naga People's Movement for Human Rights, 1990 to 1996. 42 years of college and university teaching, alumni Thomson Foundation Fellowship of British Government to the United Kingdom on Peace and Conflict, alumni of the IVLP of the US government to the United States of America. We're honored to have you in our midst today, ma'am. Please take your time. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, my old friend Somipam, President and colleagues of the Naga Students Federation, the host federation, my friends Vikeho and Ningulo, my young school children who are actually being harassed sitting here in the hot sun. Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. I'll try to make my presentation brief and short, and we thank the Naga Students Federation for remembering to always include a woman speaker, even though the topic might have been spoken last year. I think it's also an indication of the changing mindset of our younger generation. We come from a strongly patriarchal setup, let us not forget. A setup that believed in wars, in men, in warriors, in men in decision-making bodies, and women as the silent followers, as the servers, as the peacemakers, as the peace builders. Times are changing. And I think, even though we are stuck in this imbroglio of our political situation, we must take pride in the very fact that we come from a culture of war and peacemaking. It is not only a culture of war and warriors that our ancestors talked about, fought about, we are known for, but we also come from a culture of peacemaking. Even till today, villages that have signed peace treaties, clans that have signed peace treaties with each other, still retain the sanctity of such relationships even till today. And I see this in the way forward for the Naga people. The topic says Nagas tomorrow, the vision. I think it is important for us Nagas to have a vision, to have hope, and seeing all of you, the younger generation, the unique way in which the Naga Students Federation and its tribal units have been forming the program of the Naga Morung from last year and taking us to the southernmost corner of the Naga areas today, here in Chandel. This is my first visit. We are so impressed, we are so happy that we really have these kind of open lands and fields and people and so much that nature has to give us. I think we should be grateful to our young and the younger generation, the team of leaders that have brought all of us here today. The political struggle that we have had, the long years of suffering, the rapes, the AFSPA, the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, the tears of women and mothers, are all things that have been said and done and continue to be. The ray of hope that should come to the Nagas is and must come from the younger generation, from the younger leaders. And I always say, Naga society is formed in such a way that we worship our elders, we worship the older generation, and we often forget that there is so much of precious wisdom that is available in the younger generation, in younger leaders. And therefore, if Nagas are to look forward to the future, if we are to look forward to a vision of the future, it must be a vision that is led by young people. It must be a vision that is moved by younger people. It must be a vision which must be continued by the younger generation. And it is the younger generation that gives us hope. When we talk about the struggle and when we talk about our present situation and the negativity that surrounds us, the amount of the cacophony of voices that have sprung up on the political stage, whereas Ningolo had said earlier, people who had never even known or were never known even in the political movement have now gained center stage back home in Nagaland, where all the drama is unfolding for us and the days ahead. But I think Nagas are not fools. We are deeply embedded in the political struggle. Our parents have been, our grandparents have been. We are probably the third, fourth generation that is still deeply embedded in the innuendos, in the complexities, in the implications of what a future, a political future, will hold for us Nagas. It is also important at this stage to think and see how other countries have also been able to gain their freedom, to have their sovereignty. I think last year too I had mentioned, I'm going to mention the same, I think it is important to think of the Irish Republic. The Irish peace process went on for years on end, and we Nagas, because we are getting tired of a peace process, we think that ours is very different, ours is unique. It is not. Other peace processes in other countries too have faced this kind of dilemma, this kind of struggle, these kind of stumbling blocks, and yet they have they have been able to do it. The Good Friday Agreement, which was signed in Belfast, began the beginning of a power-sharing government between the nationalist and the unionist. It was an agreement between the Irish Republican Army, which was then known as the most deadliest terrorist group in the world for their bombing and for their acts of terror in the UK. The peace agreement that finally was signed with the Irish Republican Army, the armed group, and the sitting government made headlines throughout the world. I had just come back from Belfast. I had been there on a training in the UK. And when we visited Belfast, the parliament, the Irish parliament was locked. It was standing on a high hill, grand, big, huge, it was locked. And when we asked them why the building was locked, they said because the peace process was on. And how excited we were when the day the peace was signed and those parliament doors were thrown open. And you saw resistance groups that you saw only behind black masks, the IRA, sitting across the parliamentarians in the Irish parliament and signing the peace deal. I think these are examples for us Nagas, present-day Nagas, present-day elders who think that the whole government, the tribe leaders, everyone who's available, the Gamburas, everyone who's available actually we should be there on the stage and then peace is going to come for us. I don't think so. Nagas need to study, Nagas need to learn about other histories and other countries where peace has come, where political settlements have come. And I can tell you, the government of India, let us not take for granted that the government of India is foolish or ignorant. The government of India is very well aware how peace settlements are signed, how countries have come with peace accords. And why not the Nagas? We should. East Timor, which finally gained its independence in the 21st century, one of the latest to gain its independence from Indonesia. I met the president of East Timor in Rome in a First World Congress of the United Nations. And you can imagine he was the only black man addressing an all-white audience. And I remember he was challenging the white audience and telling them, we can only thank you for HIV and AIDS, he told the European audience. And the only thing we black people gave you, at that time we had the mad cow disease going on. And so he said, the only thing that you can thank us for is the mad cow disease, you know. But the kind of speech that he gave was so impressive, and I thought, the kind of leader that Nagas need for the future is a man like him. A man who led his country to freedom. A man who stands on accountability, transparency, no corruption. A man who told in the audience that his mobile number is with every citizen in Timor. Can you imagine our chief ministers of Manipur, or maybe Assam, even of Nagaland, can you imagine any one of us having easy access to the mobile number of the chief minister? They guard it like a precious jewel, isn't it? And they forget that it's the people who put them on the chair. And these are the kind of leaders that I see in the younger generation today, in the younger leaders sitting here before us. These are the kind of leaders, change makers that we need for the Nagas tomorrow. We don't really need mindsets that will not change, mindsets that don't want to read, mindsets that don't want to look at other countries. We need a changing environment. We need a struggle that is going to take us to some kind of a solution, but it has to also get the support of the younger generation. We need the younger generation. And this is where my appeal today to the younger generation, to the Naga Students Federation, to the tribe units here, to all the students who are gathered here, if you are listening, is that it is time for all of us and for you, the younger generation, to stand up and take your place, to stand up and say it is time to have peace, peace in your land, and bring honor to your parents, to your grandparents, to your relatives who have died and given their lives. This is the time, this is the moment. And I think it is only when the younger generation rises up in chorus, it is only then that we will see changes. We will see the government reconsidering the scrapping of the free movement regime. I don't know how many of us sitting here, maybe only those from the border areas, have walked the breadth and length of Myanmar. We from the Naga Mothers, the peace team, we have walked all areas of the Naga areas in Myanmar. And you cannot imagine the difference of lives, our lives and their lives, the poverty, the lack of roads, the lack of medical amenities, lack of food, forget other things, lack of food, no salt, no roads, in hundreds of schools that the Burmese government has opened up in the Naga self-administered zone. There are hardly 1 or 2 high schools. And it reminds me of the Native Americans in America, where the Americans said they wanted to develop the Native Americans. They taught them English. They took the children to the English boarding schools. They took the parents to hundreds of miles away in another Indian reservation so that the parents and children don't ever see each other. And yet, when we went on the fellowship to the US government, on the US government fellowship, and interacted with Native Americans in Sacramento, it was shocking that in 2000, in developed America, you had Native Americans who had not passed their 10th standard. And this was the country where Christopher Columbus invaded. And therefore, when we look at what is happening in Myanmar to our Nagas, it is our responsibility, the Nagas from the West, it is our responsibility to ensure that development reaches them. This is the future we must envision. A future where we are able to walk freely into their areas without being scared of the army or the junta, to go and help them, to go and do whatever we can, because we speak the same language, and we speak the same language of the heart because we are all Nagas. The identity of the Nagas is the same everywhere, whether we live in Nagaland, whether you live in Manipur, whether you live in Assam, the Assam hills, whether you live on the hills of Arunachal, Tirap, Changlang and Longding, or whether you live in the impoverished areas of the Naga hills of Myanmar. This is a call also for the younger generation and also for us elders, tribe elders, community elders who are all here. How many of us reach out beyond our communities, beyond our tribes, and how many of us really think of the Nagas in Myanmar? They need us. And the best that we can do in the coming days is to reach out for them. And I've had Naga Myanmar leaders telling us, we protected you when you ran away from the Indians. When you came, you fought in our land. We protected you, we fed you. And today there's no one to feed us. Today you cannot even stand up for us. This cannot be the future of the Nagas. For the future of the Nagas to be bright, we must make the most of it. I'm told that Chandel is just around an hour's drive from Myanmar, from the borders in Myanmar. This is the closest that we can get to the border. How much of potential. The future for the Nagas, the younger generation, is education and agriculture. Education, because it's such a competitive world. The more you study, the more you excel in education, you will never find yourself helpless. There will always be something for you to do, to teach your community, to do something. We hardly have universities. The universities we have are central funded universities. We have very few private Naga universities. What about thinking of setting up universities in all Naga areas, colleges in all Naga areas? Every time I come to Manipur, I'm shocked with the difference of development in the valley, where most of my academic work has been with Manipur University, and the hill areas. The first time I went to Ukhrul, which was just a few years back, I thought Ukhrul reminded me of a cowboy town. And the reason is because the Naga movement has been such an expensive movement. It has taken their best youth, the best lives, their best energies, towards the movement, so much so that people have not had time to develop our towns, our villages, to give time to our children, to give time to plan for the future. Let this be the beginning, a reaching out. And I'm so happy the Naga Students Federation has held the 2nd Morung here in Chandel, the southernmost tip of our Naga areas. The only place most of us from Nagaland are familiar with is More. Everyone wants to go to More. But now with the war that has happened, Chandel is again another tourist destination, I think, for most Nagas. There's so much of potential. Our strength has been our land. We are deeply rooted to our land. And there's so much of potential, so much of resources, minerals, gas, oil, forest producers, you name it, the Naga areas have it. We are the richest in the Northeast. If you look at the demographic picture of what the Naga areas are. This is the future for the younger generation. This is where you can invest. This is where you can tie up with companies, where you can tie up and build yourself into successful entrepreneurs, develop your areas. I think the catchphrase and the catchword for us Nagas, even in the midst of political turmoil, is looking eastwards, looking at Southeast Asia, because that is where we come from, and looking at the business opportunities that are there for us. Our links with China is not only through arms or through the kind of friendship that our movement has enjoyed with China over these years. The business interest of China is about to reach us. China in the last 2-3 years has signed some of the biggest, largest MOUs with the government of Myanmar. The road, the South Asian road that we are talking of, actually has some of the most inputs which has been put in by the Chinese government. If you travel up the 2ⁿᵈ River and you see the mining areas on all the banks of the 2ⁿᵈ areas, it is not the Burmese who are mining, it is not the Nagas who are mining, it is all Chinese companies who are mining in that whole route that goes up till Taga and till Thailand and China. And therefore, this is the frontier. Chandel, Southern Nagas, this actually is the frontier for the Naga development, for the Naga route, and for the future. Why are we talking about a future? We have to envision a future because we cannot stay stuck in the kind of political instability as of now, with a government that is insensitive to the demands of the Nagas. Many of us, civil societies from all Naga areas, at some point or the other, we have lobbied with the government of India. We have tried to sweet talk them, we have tried to threaten them, we have tried all kinds of strategies to make sure that they listen to us. And now I think we have come to a stage where we are actually lobbying with international countries. We are lobbying with various governments, we are lobbying with various countries. There's a lot of sympathy towards the Naga cause. So let's not think that because our tribe ho-hos, because there's a lot of movement going on regarding maybe a common draft, regarding a future that is quite hazy. I think politically we must be very clear that there are countries that are very clear about our stand, about what we are. There are countries that are willing to listen to us, and there are countries that have listened to civil societies in various platforms where we have lobbied on the Naga issue. And therefore, today let it be a day of celebration. Let it be a day celebrating our courage, the courage of our elders, the courage of our political leaders. Let it be a celebration of our resilience, and let it be the coming of age celebration of our younger generation, of our young leaders who are well qualified, who have the capacity to lead. I think it is time for Naga civil society, for Naga society to accept the fact that we have younger leaders who are willing to lead and who can take the lead. This is where I end. I know everyone is waiting for lunch, but thank you for the invitation, the NSF. A wonderful opportunity to meet all of you again. And one key aspect before I conclude is the question of gender equity, gender equality. The changes that you see in Naga society are also changes that we look for towards the future. Women leadership, women coming into leadership positions. We see so many powerful women organizations, but these organizations are always separate from the men's organizations. I think what is happening in Nagaland and what has happened, the reservation movement, which was spearheaded by the Tribe Women's Organization and the Naga Mothers, changed the whole political scenario in the state of Nagaland, where now women lead the towns, where women have a voice in decision making. We've just celebrated 25 years of the former Chief Minister Vamuzo's anniversary. The man who started the VDP system in Nagaland that gave 25% reservation for women, seats and funds in all villages in Nagaland. We have more than 2,000 villages, and in all 2,000 villages today, we have women VDP members, we have funds for women that are utilized by women. This is the kind of future as a women activist I look for all the Naga areas, for the southern areas too, and for our areas in Myanmar, Arunachal. This is the kind of future we must look forward to. Equal partnership and walking together hand in hand. Thank you.
NSF, as well as the unit president, federating unit president, as well as the subordinated bodies to kindly come up on the stage. As I read out the pledge, I request all of you to kindly read after me. The Naga Morung, Pledge of Unity and Resilience. We, the Naga Students Federation, along with our constituent organs, on this occasion of the Naga Morung, dated 28 March 2025, here at Chandel, pledge to solemnly declare that the Naga ancestral lands and peoplehood recognize no artificial boundaries or divisions. Together we vow to protect our God-given rights against all forces that seek to divide our land and people, and embracing the spirit of 2ⁿᵈ. We pledge to uphold our rights to self-determination for a unified limb and glory of the Nagas. We pledge to preserving the ethos of the Naga Morung, to uphold the wisdom and visions of our ancestors, and to bridge the generational gaps with the present, and that we will honor our heroes, remember our history, and celebrate our identity in its truest sense. With this pledge, we henceforth commit ourselves to rising together as one nation. One Naga. Rooted in our history, steadfast in our present, and indomitable in our pursuit of justice and dignity. Thank you, 2ⁿᵈ. I would like to request our NSF president to kindly come and next, General Secretary, NSF. Followed by Unit President.
Requesting all the students, the program is not yet over. Would request all the teachers of respective schools who have come along with your children to please remain seated. The program is not yet over. Requesting the attention of all the students, teachers of the respective schools and colleges to please maintain silence and remain seated. Thank you. The program is almost over. Would request all the students to remain sitting. Thank you.
Thank you, E. Krelo, Senior Leader of NSF, for leading us in taking the pledge. Moving on to the next. Now we shall hear the closing remarks from rapporteurs. In the first place, may I have the honor to invite Ino Sapuna NG Philo.
Thank you, moderators. Medavishri and his team, the president of Naga Students Union Chandel and his team, everyone mentioned in the program, and everyone present in this program. Kindly remember that you have the highest respect of all the reporters and also the team of NSF. The first Naga Morung, organized by the Naga Students Federation, was held on the 14th of August 2024 at NBCC Hall, Convention Hall, Kohima, wherein we witnessed the biggest and the largest of our Naga leaders coming and speaking about the same topics, on the same topics that we discussed today. It will be very unfair on my part, again, to be summarizing and then giving a gist of the discussion that took place today. But I was informed by the team of NSF that will be very soon sending a letter to the governor of Manipur and also various other leaders to highlight the discussions that took place today at this very platform. So kindly pardon me, particularly Sir VKO, Sir Ningolu, Professor Rosemary, I wouldn't be giving a gist of the discussion. Allow me to, on behalf of my fellow reporters, allow me to give some few observations though. I think NSF and all of us share the same feeling that we regret the timing of this program because of the fact that most of our ho-hos are absent today. Given the fact that the Naga Ho Assembly is happening in Dimapur. We really wish for our ho-ho leaders to be present so that they would also be further enlightened by the wisdom and also the speeches that were delivered on this stage. Sorry, NSF team, particularly Mr. Medavari. I think NSF has become a little lenient in our time management. The program was slated to start at 11. But as far as I remember, it started at 11:30. So I think that needs to be taken note of. By the way, everyone addressing this stage took very good care of addressing the NSF constituent units. However, kindly be reminded that NSF comprises of our federating units, our subordinate units, and also special invitees comprising of Tarau, Chote, and Thangal Students Union. To the students, how many of you are from Trinity High School? Anyone from Trinity High School? Anyone from St. Paul Higher Secondary School? Can someone kindly pass the mouthpiece to one of the students?
Hello, Chief.
Any one of the students, anyone. St. Paul Higher Secondary School. Anyone. Can you please kindly stand up and then say your name? I won't ask your age because I'm also very young still. So can you please kindly say your name and then your stream, if you're from high secondary. Please.
My name is Perparohit Tote.
You're from high school, from the high school section or high secondary section?
High school section.
High school section. Okay, can I ask you one question?
Yes.
What if you learn from what our speakers said today? What did you learn? Feel free, please. Feel free, and then just tell us what you have learned.
The struggle of my ancestors.
Okay. Thank you. I think the purpose of NSF organizing this very event. Thank you so much. The very purpose of NSF organizing this very event is to educate our youngsters about the struggle that our forefathers had, the journey that we're undertaking, and the future that we look forward to. And I'm very glad that our young friend from St. Paul Higher Secondary School had made it very clear that he learned about the struggle of our forefathers. I think Sir Nimulu, Sir Vico, or Ma'am Rosemary, for that matter, I think should go satisfied because of the fact that our youngsters have learned something today. And on behalf of NSF, we want to thank all of you for the struggles and efforts that you have put in order to educate our youngsters. We understand that our gratefulness at times doesn't befit your effort, but kindly understand that. And even if we don't say it also, I hope you understand. Let me just keep it there. When it comes to discipline, Naga students, Sweden Chandel, I think when it comes to NSF event, we deserve better discipline from all the participants. And NSF entrusting all of you to take care of logistics and everything, means everything. But discipline was lacking. To the students and teachers, kindly don't mind my words. I'll be blunt like my dear friend Chingmak, the president of the NSF. I think discipline was lacking, and it will be a little disheartening for all of us, and especially for our renowned and then well-learned speakers. So in the days to come, let's try to maintain. The turnout was, let's say, okay, but not very satisfactory. Those are not my words. These are the actual words of the three reporters. But as someone from South, allow me to just express one line. I want to honestly express my sincere gratitude to the Naga Students Federation for bringing this second Naga Morung to our southern area. And I don't like using the word south, but thank you so much to Medovi and his entire team. May God bless you all. May God bless Naga Students Federation. Long live Naga Students Federation. Kunalim.
Moving on, we shall hear the words of gratitude from Ino Kenilo Kent, Assistant General Secretary, Naga Student Federation.
Hello. Respected Chairperson and compeers, it's been a while now, but let me take a few time to acknowledge a few of our distinguished personalities present here today. Today, the presence of so many Nagas coming together in such a symbolic strength reveals our conviction as well as our aspiration and even concerns about our past history, the present, and what challenges lies ahead for our people tomorrow. Our presence here today in Chandel is not merely a gathering. This is a symbolic expression that we must keep the emerging Naga family together as one Naga at all times to come. As we culminate this remarkable summit with the closure of the second phase of the Naga Morung, it is with immense pleasure and profound responsibility that I propose a few words of gratitude on behalf of the Naga Students Federation. At the foremost, we give all glory and thanks to our Almighty God for His grace, for leading us through this historic occasion. We extend our sincere gratitude to Reverend Father Aloysius Seba, Parish Priest, St. Paul's Parish Pallel, for his spiritual leadership in invoking God's presence upon us. We are elated to hear from the President of the Naga Students Union Chandel, Runglar Ali Anal, for the warm welcome address, for the generous words which has made us feel at home. We are deeply honored by the presence of our President NSF, Medovi Ri, whose provoking words have reaffirmed our commitment towards strengthening our identity as a Naga. We also extend our profound gratitude to the General Secretary, United Naga Council, Vario Shetsang, and his esteemed colleagues, Chingmak Chang, the President of the Eastern Naga Students Federation, and his esteemed colleagues, the President of the Eastern Naga Students Association, Atimiu Makuri, and his esteemed colleagues for their tall presence and encouraging words of solidarity, reminding us of the strength that we derive from our unity. Our special note of appreciation goes to Eli Raivani Dumai for the beautiful rendition of the song Kuknalim, also known as Healing of Our Spirit, written and composed by Reverend Dr. Wati Iyer. The song continues to inspire hope, resounding the sentiments and aspirations of the Naga people. We extend our heartfelt appreciation to the Chote Atoru Ngai Abom for the cultural dance reflecting the rich traditions and the identity of our people. Ladies and gentlemen, as I express my deep admiration to the following distinguished personalities, it is my honor to acknowledge their participation, whom we have grown up to admire for their visionary leadership as student and youth leaders, as activists and champions of human rights, and as intellectuals. To begin with, we are indebted to our keynote speaker, Y.V. Kehosu, who is a respected former president of the Naga Students Federation, for his powerful words reminding us of the journey that has reaffirmed our identity as Nagas. Our utmost respect to the esteemed panelists, Dr. Ningulo Krome, Secretary General of Naga People's Movement for Human Rights, Professor Rosemary Zivichev, a senior activist and a retired professor from Nagaland University. We express our heartfelt appreciation for your profound insights, challenging us to delve deeper, reflect deeper into our past history, to recognize the crossroads at which we stand today, and to envision a future where the Naga people stand together with dignity and purpose. A special acknowledgement goes to our rapporteurs led by, Sipuna NG Philo, former General Secretary of the Naga Students Federation, Mariko Lerena, former President of the Mao Students Union, Eli Ngakui Mi Shaiza, the Assistant General Secretary of Tangkul Katam Yao Saplong, for ensuring that our discourse today does not remain just spoken words, but a foundation for growth, for action and progress. Above all, our heartfelt appreciation goes to our host unit, Naga Students Union Chandel, and its constituent units for your tireless efforts in making this event a resounding success. Our special appreciation goes to the leadership of the host village, the parent bodies, church organizations, to every individuals, volunteers who have worked tirelessly around the clock, and to the beautiful and courageous people of Chandel for your warm hospitality. To our federating units, the 17 foundational pillars of the Naga Students Federation, a special mention of our tribunal members and the senior leadership of NSF. We thank them for their presence, for ensuring that this event is a success. We are overwhelmed by the support we have received from our parent bodies, our hosts, and mothers associations who have come all the way to be with us from across the Naga homeland. Your presence here today has set a new narrative in our collective journey as Nagas. Our Reverend G. Khartu, Pastor Liwa Sarei Baptist Church, who will be pronouncing the Benediction. We thank you for your valuable presence and for setting the tone for the day. To our friends from the media and to every individual present here today, your presence and support continues to give strength, and above all, let the spirit of the Naga people continue to rise for unified limb and glory of the Nagas. Long live Naga Students Federation. May God help us all. 2ⁿᵈ. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenilo Kent, Assistant General Secretary, Naga Students Federation. Today, the March 18, 2025, is yet another historic day for the Nagas, as people from different walks of life, from CSOs to churches, intellectuals and well-wishers and students have gathered to understand the history of our Naga national movement. Nagas yesterday, Nagas today, and Naga tomorrow. Today's event will surely send out a strong message that the Naga people quest and aspirations for self-determination. The spirit to be fully free and independent is still alive and kicking. May the spirit continue to grow within and for a just society. 2ⁿᵈ.
As we come to the end of today's program, the 2nd Naga Morung Assembly, I would like to express a heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for your participation and invaluable contributions. Your presence has made this event truly memorable and meaningful. To conclude our gathering on a note of hope and unity, I now invite Reverend G. Khartu, pastor of Liwa Sarei Baptist Church, to deliver the benediction. Please join me in welcoming him to the stage for the prayer.
Would request all the general public to remain on their respective seat, because after the benediction prayer is over, we'll have launching of 25th Anniversary Edition NSF Martyr Memorial Trophy Tour. Thank you.
Let us look to God and pray. Our loving Heavenly Father, the Creator of the universe, we thank you for the Naga Morung program. You have given us opportunity. Lord, pray for the current leaders, different leaders of the Nagas in particular, and also, Lord, pray for the youngsters who are the pillar of the future. Bless them and give them wisdom and knowledge. And also, as we depart from here, may the love of the Father and the grace of God, the Son, and the fellowship of the God, the Holy Spirit, be with us forever. Amen. Bye-bye everyone from Liwa, Sarei. 2ⁿᵈ